Today, there is officially a field of happiness studies.
Happiness Studies Academy is proud to present the world's first fully accredited master's degree in happiness studies.
This master's degree is about educating leaders who will bring happiness to life.
The reason I chose to do a master's in happiness study was basically understanding the concept of happiness, not as an emotion, but something that relates to the history, psychology, economy of everything that is around us.
Economics, administration, history, literature, music, philosophy, psychology.
It's a multidisciplinary program that brings in one place philosophy from Eastern, from Western, theology, literature.
It's also about the business and the environment and education. So it's really looking at all different aspects of being human.
So it's not just a matter of understanding what happiness is all about, but understanding the context and how throughout history, really human beings have always been interested in the science of happiness.
A beautiful opportunity to dive deep in understanding the most recent science about what people can do in order to create a better life for themselves, for their family, in their organizations, in communities.
Happiness study is very, very important. It is very essential to a successful leader, how a great leader should look like.
Leaders in the field of education, business, medicine, law. It is about helping parents increase levels of happiness in their families. It's about individual development. It's about collective development.
Everything that you learn in the MA can be used if you are a business owner, if you are a leader, if you want to use that in your family, in your house, as a coach, as a therapist, as a doctor. And it also opens a very broad pathway in different careers. So many people come to a course like this because they are facing a career transition and they are not really sure where to head. This course brings a lot of perception, a lot of perspective to point them to the right direction. So many people will come after this course thinking about a new design of business, a new line of work, create applications and forms of using what they learn in different fields.
So this is what is the science of happiness studies about. Whether I'm going back to organizations, if I'm going to be an author, if I'm going to work with athletes, we all can bring this knowledge working on ourselves that will impact others.
It's an academic degree, but it's extremely practical. Not only did I learn more about myself, obviously I learned about things that clients can benefit from.
And I think that was one of the pillars that I liked the most, to have meaningful information, research-based, and also that I could use and go back anytime.
And Tal has such a beautiful way of bringing that knowledge together in a digestible, understandable way that makes sense. And when you start to implement, and it's kind of almost like baby steps, but when you start to implement these changes, an incredibly impactful, huge change happens down the road, but it's almost like you don't even see it coming.
One of the main components in the studies is the HAT groups, which are basically groups of people from all over the world meeting together and discussing and elaborating about the different topics that we're talking about.
And I had one person from Iran, one person from Brazil, one person from Italy, one person from New York, person from Peru, one person from Vietnam, and we were all in the same group.
The live lectures, the group interactions make the course very alive.
I've never been in a program where at the end of an hour and a half, we are wanting more. We don't want to break. We're very sad when it has to end. And that has been consistent since week one.
One of the most transformative journeys I've ever been on in my life.
It was amazing. I've grown so much as a person and I've learned so much. I would recommend it to everybody to do this program. It's been life-changing.
2 of the most meaningful years of my life.
For me, this degree is already manifesting what it's meant to manifest in my life. And that is, I'm excited about something, it's challenging me, it is stirring joy and delight on a weekly, if not daily basis. I feel like what I'm doing now, every day, is proof that I made the right decision to join this class.
I was just telling my husband, have you ever learned anything, in school that you want to learn it again and just read through the material again? He's like, no. But this is the beauty of this course.
We are the happiness revolution in action.
Masters of Arts in Happiness Studies. We did it.
It's been like life-changing for me.
Graduates of the world's first Master of Arts in Happiness Studies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome from wherever you are and whenever you are. It's wonderful to be here with you and to talk a little bit about the Masters of Happiness Studies. What excites me most about the prospect of you joining our program is when I look at what our students and what our graduates are doing. And what they're doing is nothing short of remarkable, really making a difference in their world, their personal lives, as well as in the greater world, whether it's in their work, in their communities, in their schools. And I hope you can join us because that's what life is about. Increasing levels of well-being and spreading both happiness and goodness. So in the next hour, just over an hour, you'll get an opportunity to learn more about what we are doing as a community and hopefully what you can do as well. Here is what today is going to look like. So I'm going to start talking a little bit about the relationship between positive psychology and specifically how happiness studies builds on positive psychology. Then my co-teacher, Professor Ashley Michael, who's here with us, will share what some of our graduates are doing and some potential career paths that you can think about as a graduate in the Masters of Happiness. Then the mic will come back to me and I will talk about the structure of the course. What does the 20-month-long program look like? What courses will you be taking? How you will be going through that process? And then Matthias O'Neill, who is Centenary University's admissions manager, will talk about the application process. We will then have two of our graduate students, Lauren and Cedric, talk about what their experience was like and how they are applying what they're doing today. And then the floor is yours for questions about the MA specifically or about anything else that's on your mind related to happiness. So let me start by talking about the relationship between positive psychology and happiness. So the field of positive psychology officially was launched in 1998 with the work of Professor Martin Seligman, who was at that time the president of the American Psychological Association. However, already in 1954, so 44 years prior,
Abraham Maslow wrote a chapter in his book on positive psychology. A few years before Maslow, well, to be precise, 2,500 years before Maslow, Aristotle spoke about essentially a positive psychology. So there's a long history to this field, but it was focused and more scholars and practitioners came onto the scene with the important work of Professor Martin Seligman. I was a graduate student in 1998 and not studying with Professor Seligman, but studying with one of his friends, Professor Philip Stone, who was teaching at Harvard at the time. And Philip Stone was so taken by Seligman's project that he decided to teach a class in positive psychology. I became his teaching assistant as he was my supervisor. And for 6 years, I taught under him. In 2004, after he retired, he handed over the course to me, and I started teaching it. And then that took place essentially until 2015. 2015, I had a semi-epiphany. I was on a flight, a transatlantic flight, and I was exhausted and about to fall asleep. But then a question suddenly came to mind. And the question was, how is it, why is it that there is a field of study for psychology? That's what I had been doing for a couple of decades. There's a field of study for philosophy, history, biology, geography, you name it. But there is no field of study for happiness. Yeah, there is a positive psychology. However, that's just the psychology of happiness. What about what philosophers had to say about happiness, like Aristotle, like Lao Tzu, like Helen Keller? What about what biologists or religion, theology had to say about happiness? There's a great deal of wisdom in other disciplines concerning the good life, concerning happiness. What about what economists in their research have to tell us about happiness, or neuroscientists? How about movies? How often have you gone to a movie and you came out and thought, wow, there's an important message here for me, for leading a better, healthier, happier life? What about poetry? I asked myself on that transatlantic flight, why isn't there a field of study, or rather an interdisciplinary field of study that brings together philosophy and psychology and history and biology and movies and poetry and neuroscience and economics? Why isn't there such a field? And it was then that I decided to help create such a field. We launched the Happiness Studies Academy 3 years later, beginning with a certificate in happiness studies, which is a year-long program. And then we wanted to create an academic field. So what we did was we put together a master's degree in happiness studies, which we launched 3 years ago, I believe. And we already have a few hundred graduates. There are 2 cohorts right now, as we speak, are studying happiness studies. And in September of this year, so just a couple of months ago, we launched the world's first PhD in happiness studies. Our goal is academic, to bring together the different disciplines and ask how they can contribute to the good life in terms of understanding, and most importantly, pursuing and spreading happiness. So the goal explicitly for all of our students explicitly is to help raise their levels of happiness and to help them help others do the same. So yes, it is an academic program. We rely on research. We read Seligman and Lubomirsky, 2 of the most important researchers today. We read Maslow. We also read Aristotle, Lao Tzu, and Helen Keller. And we always ask, how can this help us increase our levels of well-being? What can we do to enhance well-being, whether it's in our personal life, in our homes, in our organizations, in our schools, in our communities, and the world. And this is what our students are doing, literally day in and day out, making a difference inside and outside in their lives and in the lives of others. So what do they do? What kind of professions can you engage in with as a graduate of the MA in Happiness Studies? Let me call on my dear friend and fellow professor, Ashley Michael, to share with you. Hi, Ashley. Good to see you here.
Hello. Thank you, Tal. Hi, everyone. Very nice to see you and to speak with you. So I guess the question is, what can't you basically apply happiness studies to? Because we really see the gamut of all different industries. And I apologize for running down like a list here, but basically we have CEOs, we have individuals from nonprofits, we have engineers, lawyers, medical professionals, doctors, coaches, HR professionals. We have a futurist. We have people from the film industry, teachers, stay-at-home moms and dads, speakers, designers, creative writing professionals, tech executives, finance executives, people from the US military, yoga teachers, scientists. It really runs the gamut. And it very much adds to the depth of the program because all of the students bring in their own experiences and can speak to their lived experiences and organizations and how that happiness impacts them. And it gives everyone a wider range of understanding. So that is wonderful. Some jobs that really stand out that some individuals have had after the program. One student went on to become a director of well-being in a university. Other individuals have gone on to write books. There's been quite a lot of students that are entrepreneurs. And we have all kinds of different major companies that individuals are from, such as automotive companies, such as Ford, Microsoft, Disney. We have a COO of a shipping company. Oh, see, someone here is a CEO. Yeah, so you would be right at home. And the students come from a wide range of countries. So that's the other really wonderful thing is that you're getting students from Europe, from Asia, from South America, from the US, Mexico, Canada, Australia. And so that also significantly adds to the depth of the program as well. But what's probably most exciting is what the students are talking about, they're about to create. So a lot of the students find that all of a sudden they have, 40, 50, 60 other individuals who are like-minded to them that they haven't really had that experience with before. And then all of a sudden they're able to collaborate with these other individuals and create amazing new things. And the program themselves inspires them to create things they hadn't thought of before. So some of the things I'm most excited about, I won't out all of their things that they're working on, are the future of what they are developing that I, as a professor, get to hear and talk to them about and help them with next steps. And some of them are absolutely incredible. Somebody's working on a well-being farm. There's different journaling programs that people are designing. There's people speaking all over at major conferences, as well as extremely innovative entrepreneurial things. So I think it really is, there's so much you can do with it. And besides the traditional, what you may think of as like coaching and HR, that kind of thing, that has a very natural home. And lots of teachers. I didn't say that. There's lots and lots of teachers and principals and professors at the university level, all different levels. I hope I didn't overwhelm with the list. Anything you want to add, Tal?
Yes, so we have, I'm not sure if you mentioned this on your list, but we have mayors.
Oh, yes, I forgot the mayor.
Present
Yes.
and past mayors
Yes, true.
in our
Yes.
program who are instituting ideas from our program on a macro level. Because when we talk about happiness, we talk about micro happiness and macro happiness. Micro would be the individual, the family, maybe the small group in a company or a classroom. Whereas the macro would be the whole school, the whole organization, all the way up to city and even nation. These are all things that we are looking into. And Ashley and I always direct or help students think about applications. I'll give you a simple example from actually the content. So we don't have final projects. We have forever projects. What's the difference between them? Well, final projects, is something you submit, you hand in, and that's the end of it. It usually comes at the end of a semester or a program. We have forever projects, which are specifically projects that you hand in at the end or towards the end of the semester that you work on, but they are programs that you submit. For example, a lecture. So instead of submitting a paper, let's say you want to write on purpose, instead of writing a paper on purpose, you submit a lecture on purpose, a TED lecture. And then what very often happens is that our graduates take this 20-minute TED lecture and either deliver it in the outside world, they do it within the class, and they get feedback on it, of course, and they improve it, but then they go out and they deliver it as a TED lecture or in a school or in an organization. And very often that becomes also the foundation of a much longer program, such as a workshop or an intervention that they introduce in their organizations. We have them design lesson plans that they can then teach either to their family or in their school if they're teachers, or they're in the company if they work in business, or in their city. So these are all very practical projects. They, of course, have to be based on rigorous academic research. They have to be scientific. They have to work. It is an academic program. The point, though, is that it's an applied academic program, and everything from the final projects to the lectures that we deliver, the focus is always on how can you help yourself increase your levels of well-being, and how can you do the same for others? Because when you do that, not only do you become happier, not only do they become happier, you also become more effective, more successful. Performance goes up with a rise in well-being.
Absolutely. And there's the other nice thing is a lot of these projects then become, like you said, mini projects. I know quite a few students who are now, because they're like, oh, I have an MA in happiness, their companies are like, oh, well, why don't we start doing workshops that you teach to the company that you work for? So I know one individual does her version of a happy hour every Wednesday, where she teaches the whole company the different things she's learned in the MA program. And I know of another student who's currently working with speaking with the police about helping them with resilience because she went and said, hey, I have a master's in happiness studies and I'm starting my PhD in happiness studies. And they said, oh, wow, that's amazing. There's nobody like that. This would be fabulous to have you come and work with the police and help with different resilience and happiness things. So I think it opens a lot of doors because there's not a lot of people in this particular field. So we are starting it literally. So, yeah.
But mighty.
Yes.
Thank you, Ashley.
Of course.
Okay, so what I'd like to do now is share with you a little bit about the structure of the course. And then I will call on Matthias to talk about the whole application process. So what is the structure of the course? First of all, it is a course that is jointly offered by the Happiness Studies Academy and by Centenary University. Centenary University is located in New Jersey. It was founded in 1867, so it has a bit of history behind it, and it is fully accredited, of course, by Middle States. Middle States is the same body that accredits Princeton University, University of Pennsylvania, and other top universities. In other words, it is the highest accreditation attainable for an American university. And it's 100% online. And when we founded the Happiness Studies Academy, and then when we joined and Centenary University, we debated whether to have the course 100% online or maybe 100% on campus. Centenary has a beautiful campus in Hackettstown, New Jersey, or maybe sort of a hybrid, both. And eventually we decided to go with 100% online for an obvious reason: reach. We wanted students from all over the world to attend this, and students from all over the world attend. So as you heard in the video, one of the wonderful things about the program is you get to meet and you actually cultivate real deep friendships with people from different countries, continents. So we decided to go 100% online. At the same time, we didn't want to lose the magic that often happens when you meet face to face, when you interact. And we're doing everything that we can, of course, to form through the HAT groups, the happiness accountability times, small group work together. We meet online together at least once a week. So we do form groups and friendships and relationships, but we didn't want to lose the magic that often happens when you meet face to face in person. So what we have retreats. And the retreats are completely optional. So we have students who have never been to a retreat. We have students who go to a retreat twice a year. And these retreats are offered in different places around the world. They are at least 3 days long. And we just came back from one that was held in Brazil, in Rio. Before that, we had one in Mexico City and in Lake Como, Italy, and in Finland, and in Miami, and in Beijing, and then Shanghai, and in different places around the world, where for as long as you want, you can, whether you're a student or a graduate, you can attend these retreats on top of the academic part, which only requires you to be online. Again, these retreats are optional if you want something beyond the online experience. Some choose to take advantage of it, others not. And that's fine. The program itself is 5 semesters long, 20 months long, with 30 credits and over 1,000 hours of study. These include videos, pre-recorded videos. These include readings. These includes get-togethers in HAT groups. These include exercises that you do by yourself or in a group. And there is also a live webinar every Thursday. Now, given that our students are from different places around the world, given that most of our students are working, not everyone can attend every Thursday. We strongly recommend it. These get-togethers are enjoyable. They are a powerful experience for faculty and students. However, if you can't attend, worry not, because they're also recorded, so you can watch them after. The program is all taught in English. We are an American university. If you are struggling with English, then you can always opt for the certificate in happiness studies, which is offered in different languages, including Spanish and Portuguese and Chinese and Vietnamese and Hebrew and French. And Japanese, so you can take the certificate in another language, and one of the benefits of it that your English will actually improve as you take a certificate in another language, because there are parts that are both in English and translated. But the MA is 100% in English, though, as you saw in the video, we have students whose, I think most of our students, their English is their second language. As the greater world is significantly larger than the English-speaking world. In terms of the tuition fees, it's for the 2 years, 17,000, for the 20 months, 17,700, which you pay as you go along. So you don't need to pay it all at once, but every time a semester starts, you pay the proportional part of the program. Now, what do you need to get in? There is an application process. The main thing that you need is a bachelor's degree in any subject. And the reason why it's in any subject, because happiness studies is interdisciplinary. We have, of course, many of our students have an undergraduate in psychology. Many of our students have an undergraduate in business, many in education, in history, physics, you name it. It really doesn't matter, because what you get, as you'll see from the courses, is from the beginning a strong foundation in the field. The application deadline is January 7th. So if you are thinking of applying, please start as soon as possible. And the start date of the program is 2 weeks later, on the 21st of January. So what does the course actually look like? What do the 20 months actually look like? So as I mentioned, 5 semesters. Each semester, which is 16 weeks long, is divided into 2 8-week courses. We found, and again, this was through experience because we didn't start this way, but we found that having just 1 course at a time is better than having 2 courses simultaneously, which cause a little bit of confusion and less focus. And we're all about focus. So the first semester, again, 8 weeks and 8 weeks. First 8 weeks, Foundations of Happiness Studies. And that's where you get, I was going to say a teaser, but it's more than a teaser. That's where you start to work, implementing different ideas, different research, whether it's on research on breath or research on regulating emotions, or research in journaling, or research on physical exercise and movement and nutrition. You begin to apply at a very fundamental level. You begin to apply the science of happiness in your life. The second part of the course is really an overview as well, where you look at what people have done in the world. Remember, the whole course has this healthy tension between helping oneself and helping the world. So the second semester is the second part of the first semester is, what do great leaders do? Whether their focus is as economists, or whether they are focusing on theology, or historians, or business people, or environmentalists, what are they doing to increase levels of well-being in the world, to make the world a better place, very simply. So this is the first semester. Second semester, you really go into depth into the field of happiness studies, where through an interdisciplinary approach, yes, a lot of positive psychology, of course, and literature, and history, and economics, and neuroscience, all integrated to provide you the tools to increase levels of well-being in yourself and others. That's the introduction to happiness studies. There's a great deal of theory, a lot of research in this course, but it's all applied research. However, you begin to understand, what does the field of happiness studies look like? In the third semester, you talk about facilitating happiness. This is 100% application. Everything that you have learned till now and more, you apply it in different domains, and you can apply it as a parent, you can apply it as a coach, you can apply it as a teacher, as a manager, as a mayor. Think about how you can enhance levels of well-being. The next course looks at philosophers and happiness. Philosophers from the from the dawn of time, whether it's Lao Tzu or Aristotle or Confucius or Marcus Aurelius, as well as more modern philosophers like Émilie de Châtelet and Tererai Trent. You look at what these philosophers from around the world have done to better understand and apply life's ultimate currency, happiness. And then after looking at what these philosophers have done, we enter Aspire Retreat. This retreat, again, is in your home or wherever you want to have it. We don't actually get together for this retreat. It's 8 weeks long, and that's where you get to apply everything that you have learned now from the philosophers and the leaders, from the positive psychology and philosophy, everything that you have learned till now, and apply to your life, where you go in a retreat. We help you, but you design it. And it's an evidence-based intervention. It's an evidence-based retreat where you do things that will actually make you happier. You apply it to yourself. In the following semester, for 8 weeks, we watch movies, important movies that lead to a discussion about a happier world, a happier self. We talk about poetry, stories, other forms of literature, and see how they are related to the good life. And then there is the coaching course. The coaching course, in the retreat, you applied it to yourself. In the coaching course, you're applying it to others, to the world. And again, whether you are a coach or never intend to coach, it is very useful and helpful for you as a future leader. Leader of your community, leader of your organization, leader at home, leader in the school. So this is in a nutshell what the Masters of Happiness Studies is about. Again, with the purpose of enhancing your levels of well-being and helping you do the same for others, for the world. Without further ado, I'm going to call Matthias, who will share with us the application process. Hi, Matthias. Great to see you.
Hello, good to see you as well, Tal. Good to see everyone here as well. So yeah, my name is Matthias O'Neill, and I'm the admissions manager for Centenary of the Masters in Happiness. So just kind of going to go over the application process and touch on the eligibility requirements a little bit, and as well as kind of go over the payment and all of that fun stuff as well. So essentially, the application starts on the HSA website. So it's a quick form for you, nothing too difficult, just the name, email, phone number, a little bit of information about yourself, and then a $72 application fee that is refundable as soon as you register, but that is part of the application process. Then once you've done that, your account with Centenary will be created. So you'll have an application account. And that's really kind of where you start to get directly involved with Centenary. So you'll be given your login details and then your next steps in terms of sharing your transcripts, as well as any kind of English proficiency requirements if that's necessary for you as well. So we do require that your transcript gets sent to us directly from your university. So unfortunately, you can't email it to us. We do need your university to reach out to either myself directly, or we do have a portal, the Centenary-wide portal that it can be sent to, but it needs to be sent to one of those. You can't email it directly to us, unfortunately. The one caveat there is that it does need to be in English. So just please make sure that if it's an international transcript from somewhere non-English speaking country, that it does get translated. And we do have Wes that you can use in order to do that for you as well. Then next. So kind of as I mentioned before, English proficiency of the courses in English. So we do require that as part of the requirements. If you're from an English speaking country or you've taken a degree in English, we can count that and we'll waive some of those TOEFL or Duolingo requirements for you. But if that isn't the case for you, then we do require that you submit either a TOEFL score or a Duolingo score or the IELTS, sorry. But we do have kind of ways to work around that if that's not an opportunity for you. Again, if you've taken any kind of coursework in English, that also works as well. And then finally, the fun stuff, the tuition fee payment information. As Tal had mentioned, it's $17,700 for all 20 months. Luckily, that does get broken down by semester or really by course. So that ends up being the 10 courses, $1,770 per course. And if needed, we do also have payment plans where you can break that down even further. So it's usually about a month by month payment plan. You can break that down. And also, if you have taken the certificate in happiness studies, that cost is deducted from the MA tuition. So there's a little bit of a discount for you there as well. And then just kind of, as I mentioned, you pay per module, which translates into the 17,700 or 1,770 every 2 months, so every 8 weeks. I think that's all I have for you today. Good to see everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions as well at the end.
Great. Thank you, Matthias, for everything that you do. And Matthias is going to be with us now if you have any questions after. What I'd like to do now is call on two of our students. And let me begin with Lauren. Lauren, are you here?
Hi, Tal. I'm here.
Hi, so good to see you. And Lauren and I actually just saw each other in person in one of those retreats in beautiful Rio, Brazil. It was wonderful to spend time together, Lauren. And
Yes,
thank you
it was
for
fantastic.
coming here. So I'll leave the floor to you. Please share with us some of your experiences. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I have absolutely adored the master's program so much that I actually went ahead and decided to do the PhD. But the master's program was incredibly unique in the fact that it is tailored for individuals that really want to contribute to the world in a way that is actually very applicable in interdisciplinary fields. So I'm sorry, there's a helicopter passing nearby. But you can utilize it in any field that you're currently working in, or if you want to move into. And it was so much information that I loved it. I mean, truthfully, I loved it. Every day that I did my homework, I wanted to learn more and I did not want to stop. I did not want to take a break because everything was so fulfilling. It was very rewarding. And like I said, very applicable. So I've used it in my own career right now. And so entrepreneurial ways, I actually started a happy preschool. So I started an international preschool with just a few children in my neighborhood, but we've built it along the SPIRE method. And we have about 5 or 6 team members as well. And with the way that we structured everything with their salaries and the certifications and that understand happiness as well. So that's built into it. I've actually also had other opportunities and I got to co-author a book and share more about happiness science with other individuals that get to read about it. I've had speaking opportunities and get to share more about the richness of the content and what it means in our individual and personal lives. And so it's been something that has completely changed my life for the better. It's helped me through immense challenges. And I would say, especially if someone that is working or does have other things going on in your life, that you're not just a full-time student, that this program is actually very manageable and it's very, it helps give you the gas to keep going in the other areas of your life. And so when I did the program, I was a new mom. I moved to a new country and I was doing medical treatment daily. And so it was very exhausting, but everything that I learned in the program really helped sustain me throughout all of the areas of my life. So it was absolutely one of the best things that I've done, and I'm continuing to have more opportunities open up. I'm able to help more people, I'm mentoring more people, and just sharing the message and the science of happiness in many different formats. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful privilege to be able to be part of this program and the wonderful people in the community as well.
Thank you, Lauren. You mentioned the community at the end, and as you know, I always say this to our students and graduates: the material in the program is very good. The content is very good, but that's easy. I mean, how can you go wrong when you draw on Marty Seligman and Sonia Lubomirsky and Helen Keller and Lao Tzu and Aristotle? Aristotle, you can't go wrong there. That's the easy part. The more challenging part is how do you create an extraordinary community? And I think thanks to the structure of the class and the makeup of the assignments even, and the retreats and the webinars, we've been able to create a community which is really extraordinary, of like-minded and like-hearted people who are so supportive. And wherever you go in the world, in our community, we have people from more than 100 countries. Wherever you go in the world, you will find a student or a graduate who will be there for you. Or if you have a question about literally any topic, you reach out and you'll get beyond support. You'll also get great responses and answers.
Yes. May I quickly add, because what Cal said is completely true. The community is phenomenal, and it's a collaborative community. And I know in a lot of academic areas, sometimes it can be quite competitive in a detrimental way, but you don't find that at all anywhere throughout this program. Everybody here has their focus on the mission of spreading happiness and sharing that light. And so everybody is willing to lend a hand, and like you said, go the extra mile to help you out. So it is an absolute amazing part of this program.
Thank you, Lauren. And I really hope, I know, you started the school, and I really hope the school becomes not just successful in it of itself, also provide a role model for other schools that will look for inspiration from your work. So thank you, Lauren, for everything that you do. I'm going to call on another graduate from our MA program. To see Cedric, I didn't have to go all the way to Brazil, a fellow New Jerseyan. Hi, Cedric. Good to see you.
Hello, how are you doing, Tal? Hello, everyone. Good day, everyone. Shall I just jump in?
Yes, please. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I think if you are on this call, ironically the word call, if you're on this call, you are probably on a journey of your calling. It may not be fully clear yet. It may not be all laid out, but trust the process, which is a coaching phrase. Trust the process, that if you are here for a reason. And your being here makes you curious, makes you sort of peeking into what does it look like behind the scenes. And I can tell you, one of the from the coursework, one of the lectures that Tall provided, a piece of that lecture involved research around regrets at the end of life. And it's not the regret of things that people did, it's the regret of things that people didn't do that's really more significant. And if you're on the fence at all, take the chance, because this is a dynamic program. I think first and foremost, just from a perspective of personal development, I know for me personally, from a perspective of personal development, this has and I have some other degrees behind me. This probably was the most significant program of personal development that I've ever, that included an academic degree on top of it, that I have ever been in. Positive. of positive transformation. I mean, all the stuff that may pop up out of my mouth, sustained positive transformation that you will hear about in the master's program. Literally, if you just wanted a group and individualized personal development program, this is it. Now you may say, "Oh, why should I spend it?" But you're also gonna you're gonna get a degree out of it as well. The program, yes, there's theory, yes, but everything is so practical and applicable. It's applied. I've taken away so much from this program that, I'll be here for the next hour talking about it. I think ultimately, if you've done the certificate program or if you're leaning into the master's program, and if we're talking about the SPIRE aspect or the SPIRE model of well-being, you're probably going to find that there's something about one of those elements, one of those domains that really captures you. We can teach, train, coach, lecture, we can do everything around the model, but there's something that's probably going to be, this is really my sweet spot. So maybe it's physical well-being, and physical well-being for the work that you do may be the entry point to all the other aspects of well-being. But you're going to find, I think you're going to be drawn to something of those elements. Um, for me, I'm doing continue to do more of what I did, which was coaching, training, facilitating, but it's at a it's at a whole deeper level now, or a much more advanced level where there's the research, the theory, the practical application of a model, and there's the SPIRE model, but just the whole notion of resilience and well-being and happiness and flourishing and seeing how these things are sort of all of the same family. Also, unique opportunities. I mean, they'll continue to come along because I assume this is maybe like the sixth or seventh cohort coming up of the MA program. So it's not cohort one or two or three, but it's still new. And I think this workshop was labeled something along the lines of sort of the next steps. Wasn't exactly, but the next steps, or the next phase of positive psychology. That's a true and bold statement, though. And Tal is humble, and that's all well and good. But that's a bold statement to say that this is the next phase of this. And it literally is. And you're beginning this journey while it's still in its early infancy stages. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when it is, at that level or at that stage that positive psychology was 10 or 20 years after its first introduction, this is going to look totally different. And I just think it's always important to become part of the process whenever you're ready, but it's new. It's new, it's different, it's exciting. It'll always be new, different, exciting, but it's just I just think this is a seize the moment kind of opportunity. So I'll finish up. So I'm just basically doing more of the training, coaching, and facilitating that I've been doing, but with a much more structured, evidence-based, scientifically driven approach to what I do. I'm a trained ICF certified coach. I can tell you, facilitating happiness, that third semester course did, and this is not even talking about whole being coaching, did so much to shift my perspective on coaching and what it takes to achieve positive, sustained change. Uh, that course alone was worth the program. And then finally, I am part of the first cohort of the PhD program like Lauren, and I'm beginning to move into the space of teaching. So this spring, I'm teaching a course of how to cultivate resilience and well-being to thrive in life. And that's going to be at a local adult school in my area of New Jersey. And I just, I said, what the hell? Well, let me try. And I, updated and revamped my CV to be more of an academic CV. Reached out to one of my professors. Another professor through the program is Blinda Batista de Oliveira, and talked to her a little bit. And I said, let me just see if they're open to it. And I got the email saying, oh, yeah, we'd love to have the course. So I think I'm moving in the direction of teaching and lecturing. And maybe by the time I'm finishing my PhD, I would consider even like an assistant professorship. But still, I will always remain in the practical doing side of things. So I'll stop there because I could talk forever. But I will put, while we're chatting, I will put my email, my LinkedIn connection in the chat to connect with me. I'll put my phone number if you want to connect with me on WhatsApp. I'm in the HSA community and some of the sub communities, or just reach out to me via WhatsApp, and I would gladly talk further, Zoom, text, whatever it may be. But if you're on the fence, just dive in. If you're not on the fence, get in, and we'll push you in. And so it's a wonderful journey.
Thank you for that, Cedric. You were talking about the fact that this isn't, not the first, second, or third cohort. And if you had asked me 3 years ago when this started, will you be teaching in the, fifth or sixth cohort? The answer would be no. I'm going to teach it once, twice, help, improve, iron out the wrinkles, and then move on and do other things. That hasn't happened, and it won't happen. I'm loving teaching, and I'm loving interacting, Cedric, with you, with Lauren, with other fellow journeyers, and hearing the kind of impact that you're having. My number one strength is love of learning, and every week I learn. Every week I grow, whether it's as a person, as a teacher, as a professional, as a parent, because the kind of experience, whether it's in teaching or in coaching or in managing, that is part of this program and comes to life in the live webinars is really remarkable. So thank you, Cedric, for all that you are doing, and thank you for being here. Okay, so Cedric is going to stay with us, Lauren, so is Matthias and Ashley. And now we're opening it up for your questions. And to ask a question, you can put your hand up like this, and I will call on you. Or I guess you can also ask a question, maybe you have already in the chat. For me, it's a little bit difficult to multitask. They say it's more difficult for men than for women. I think they're right. But maybe also, Ashley, if you can see if there are any questions that we can respond to. So put your hand up if you have a question, whether it's about the technical issues, the process, application. You have the expert here, Matthias, whether it's about the content of the program, about anything, any other topic in happiness studies and beyond. Chi-Ping, the floor is yours. Hi.
Thank you. I already put my question in the chat, but I can share a little bit about myself here so that can explain how or why I want to get to my PhD program. I don't know, they call you Tao, but for me, I will call you Professor. I read about your book about 10 years ago when I first to know that book and your videos that was very popular in China. I asked 2 weeks leave to specifically to study. So it's changed a lot of my thinking. I mean, eventually changed about my life, I guess. And right now I was an engineer manager, but right now I'm a early childhood educator. I'm a mom of ADHD child who enters university this September. So right now it's my new chapter that I can do something for myself. and I hope I can change other people's life too. So I feel this program, it's the how to say that, the best program for me to apply for my PhD degree, and I want to contribute my time and what I have learned to do something for others. Yeah. I know the master program, I studied the curriculum. There are some courses that I thought it's very good and I want to take. I want to know what they are about. But I don't know how we can, or how I can continue. Also, I'm thinking about the certificate program too. I mean, I can study like with my self-paced, right? So, I also want to check out how I can learn all those things that I have to learn to get a PhD program, and also how to finish at the end. I know the PhD is a 4 years program. I'm willing to spend that time, and I hope I can finish. I hope. And also, I currently live in Canada because it's an online program, and also I work full time. I think I don't know how we can manage the time. I can work and I can still continue my study. There are a lot of questions here. Sorry.
So let me just briefly, reflect on some of the things that you said, and of course, if you have any questions that I didn't answer, just contact us at info@happinessstudies.academy. So first of all, about the time commitment. On average, it would be 10, 15 hours a week, which includes, as I mentioned, the readings, and it includes the live or pre-recorded lectures or webinars, and the exercises and the meetings. So 10 to 15 hours a week. Most of our students, I would say, and again, I don't think I'm exaggerating, 90% of our students and more are have a full-time job. Again, this is the advantage of an online program. There's the flexibility. What you can do, if you choose to do some of our students choose to do the certificate first and then proceed to the MA, as Matthias mentioned. If you do pay for the certificate, that money will be deducted from your MA if you take it in the future. And the advantage of the certificate, it is self-paced. So if you have 3 hours a week, that's great. If you have 3 weeks when you have no time, then you just go back after 3 weeks, and there's no problem. You have access to the course indefinitely. This, by the way, is also important to mention, Shiping. You'll have access to the course material after you graduate. Why? Because we hope that this becomes a lifelong process. Yes, the MA is 20 months long. The PhD is 4 years long. But we hope that you will stay on this journey for the rest of your life. And if you want to refer back to, I don't know, us talking about certain interventions in organizations, you can go back to it 5 years from now. If you want to go over all the material again, and some of our students do that, you can do that too. So you have access to it for as long as you want. Thank you for sharing, and I hope you join us.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry. I submitted my application already. I saw online there is spring intake, which is in January. for PhD, I'm not very sure that's correct or not.
No, the PhD
Mhm.
will be launched at the end of August. But for that, of course, you need a master's degree first.
Oh yeah,
So
I understand. Yeah, I
no,
do
for the
have one.
MA, for the MA, you need a
Yeah.
BA, master's, of course. For the PhD, you need a master's.
Okay. So how I can get contact with people, because I sent email, I didn't get response. So
info@happinessstudies.academy, you will
yeah,
get a response, or if you want to email Centenary, we can put that the email in the chat. You will get a response.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Punita, hi.
Hello, how are you doing, Professor Tao?
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, Ziping, I started the certificate a few weeks ago, and I absolutely am loving it. And I'm praying that you will accept me onto the master's program, because I'm at a stage in my life where, for me too, number one, one of my strengths, not I don't have many, but one of them is my love of learning. And so I'm really enjoying just absorbing like a sponge everything in the certificate. And it has 3 steps too, like gem plus, right? So you can do your gem, cover basics, and then I can go back 2 weeks later to reinforce what I did. And what's amazing, I think, is that for the masters, it will first of all, the cost, which is always right an issue, what I'm paying for in the certificate will go towards if I get accepted in the masters, correct?
Yep.
So my question to you, I have 2 questions. One, I had to step out for a second when they, of course, the information I really wanted was the process for applying for the masters. Is there a handout you can provide, or can I get a screenshot of that slide? I can take a picture if you put it up.
Sure. So, Matthias, if you can respond, and I'm going to put the slide up in the meantime.
Oh.
Yes, are you?
Oh, I'm muted.
Oh,
sorry. I was typing another question as you were asking. Can you just repeat that quickly one more time?
Can I repeat?
The question.
Tia, she's interested in finding out how to apply for the MA, what the actual steps are.
Like the actual steps.
Okay, yeah. So the process is actually to start on the HSA website. There should be a button essentially for the MA in happiness, and then on that page there'll be an apply here link essentially. You'll fill out that form. There's a $72 application fee, and then you'll have an account created on the Centenary website where you'll get the login information, and you'll get an email with further instructions from there.
So can we apply from now?
Yep, the application is open right now.
And how soon would we hear? Like, when would we know if we've been accepted?
So as soon as we've received your official transcripts from your university, it's usually within 24 to 48 hours that you'll hear from us.
And you want them directly from my university, or if I have them, you want them from me?
Directly from the university.
Okay. And then, Tal, one question for you, if I may ask. I absolutely adore Helen Keller, but one of the articles we had to read, like, I found it really hard to read it, like to grasp it. Do you have any recommendations apart from go back, read a paragraph at a time? And I just, like, I had no problem reading Man's Search for Meaning. I mean, I just devoured that book. But with Helen Keller, I don't know, I was finding the language very difficult.
You know, I love that question, Punita. You know, our students, by the end of the master's degree, are reading Marcus Aurelius. Now, Marcus Aurelius is a very challenging text, also because the translation, you know, obviously we don't read it in its original language, but the translation is challenging. complex topic, complex words, but they read it. Why? Because over the 2 years, their level of comprehension has increased. Not only do they become happier, presumably, also they become more adept at understanding deep text. So that's one thing. It will happen over time. Second, one of the things that I emphasize is rereading. Do you know? I don't know if you saw there was a movie that came out this year on Netflix, I think, called My Year at Oxford, and it's very cute. It's a romantic comedy, and not the best movie ever made, but certainly a movie I would recommend. Now, in the movie, there was one of the scenes showed the a car that was driven by one of the protagonists, and on the car the number plate was Ode song 107. Ode 107. And I remember making a mental note of it, and I said, I'm going to check what Ode 107 is. Because in a movie, usually everything has a reason. Anyway, so after the movie, I go online. What is Ode 107? It turns out to be Sonnet 107 by William Shakespeare. So I download it and read it. I read it for the first time, Punita. I have no idea what it says. I mean, I gather it is a love poem, but I don't understand it. I read it for the second time, no idea. 5 times I read it. The 5th time, I'm beginning to understand it. The 8th time I read it, it made a lot of sense to me. The 12th time I read it, I was in tears. It was so powerful, so overwhelming. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because I think that one of the biggest mistakes that educators or the field of education makes today is that education has become linear, meaning, oh, you've read Sonnet 107? Okay, let's move on to 108. Oh, you've done, history of the 17th century in 10th grade, 11th grade, we move on to 18th century. So we study something and then we move on, move on, move on. Instead of, rather than the linear approach, the circular or the spiral approach. When you engage with the text multiple times, when you engage with an idea multiple times. So we talk about purpose, and yes, of course, we read Man's Search for Meaning. And we also read Confucius on meaning, and we read Tererai Trent and her idea of Ubuntu and its relationship to meaning, what she calls the great hunger. So we look at one idea from multiple perspectives. We read and reread, and we climb up the spiral so that we gain a great deal of depth, because a spiral is 3-dimensional. A linear line is 2-dimensional. And this is what we're aiming for. Why? Again, not just for deeper understanding, for deeper assimilation, internalization, application of the material. So you don't understand it once? Great. Continue. It may take 12 times till the writings of Helen Keller, whether it's on gratitude or optimism, brings you to tears and to apply it.
Okay, and so I can call you on the 13th time if I don't get it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angelica.
Okay. Hi, Tal. Thank you so much for offering the master's program. I have already applied and I was accepted, so I can't wait to start it.
Congratulations. Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So I have 2 quick questions. One is, will we be assigned an advisor, or do we choose an advisor? And the other question is about textbooks. I am someone who I like to be ready on the first day of class, So I don't know if we have to buy any textbooks or if we'll just read articles that we can download. So these are 2 questions I have for you.
Right. So I'm bringing Ashley to the scene because and Ashley will respond, and maybe Ashley, you can tell her about the structure of the professors and how it changes each semester, and then I'll add if I have anything to add. Thank you.
Hi, yes, I was actually just writing Punita too. So Punita, reach out to us right away and we will help you with the application. So I don't know if you saw that, but yes, Angelica, so that kind of gives you an idea. There's a professor for each 25 students or so. And so that professor, Tal is the overarching professor who you'll go to live webinars and you'll interact with, but you also have section professors. And those section professors sort of act as your advisor, helping you in each class that you're in, anything that you have questions on, anything that if you, maybe you have a really busy week at work and you need an extension on something, we're the ones that you reach out to and we help work with you. We also meet with you if you want to, this is one of my favorite things, to talk about an idea you have or some kind of project you're doing at work and you want to maybe talk through different ideas. So we will meet with you on different things like that as well. In terms of the coursework, most of the coursework is contained within the system. So you don't necessarily need to purchase additional textbooks. Like, I've done lots of different programs where the textbooks themselves are a whole another thing that you have to invest a lot of money in. We do have like here and there 1 or 2 books that you have to get, but it's usually like a $14 book, something like that. And that's few and far between. There's not a lot of those. And then there's in the movie course, there are a few movies that you would have to rent for a few dollars, that kind of thing. But for the most part, all of it is self-contained in the program. So there, yeah. And I think you had another question about what you can start doing now in preparation. Was that the other question you had?
Oh, I was asking about the textbooks because I wanted to know if I should buy them in order to prepare. Okay.
Yeah, no, you are ready. So if you want to start reading, some of Tol's books, if you want to start reading about happiness and positive psychology and things like that in preparation, absolutely. But you can also enjoy the time leading up to the start of courses and just start when you're ready, January 20th. So that works too. But we're excited to have you. Very excited.
I recently bought Charles' book, Happiness Studies. So that's what I've been reading now. So I'm assuming it's going to help me with the process too.
Yeah. The nice thing about the field of happiness is that, we prepare for it our entire lives because from a very young age, we're thinking, reflecting on happiness. And that's meaningful because we have a lot of research. We have a lot of research that we talk about, whether it's of the great psychologists, and we have a lot of great texts, whether it's Marcus Aurelius or Helen Keller. But that's all research. That's looking outside. What we also focus on a great deal is me-search. Because when you think about happiness, in order to understand what is it that will bring more of it into my life, research is not enough. I have to also look inside, me-search. And you do a lot of it through the program, and you have been doing, by the virtue of being human, you have been doing me-search leading up to this program. So you're more than ready. And we're looking forward to journeying together with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if there's one thing I can add to, actually, when Cedric was talking, it made me think of, I'm sure all of you have been in many different degree programs. And when the degree program, when you're in it, everyone's like, oh, very focused on you. They talk to you a lot, all that kind of stuff. But then you graduate and you're like, where did everybody go? There's nobody anymore. That is not our program. As long as you want to interact with us, we continue to interact with you. So that is something that I think is also unique about this program and the community in general, is that it doesn't stop when you graduate. From the certificate to the MA or the PhD, which we don't have any graduates yet, but we will in 3 years, it will continue to engage. And we try to have all the different cohorts and the PhD now interact more together as well. So you really are coming into a large network of people that are interested in making the world a happier place that you can work together with. I think that's a nice added thing that we didn't discuss really.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Ashley. And thank you all for being here. Thank you, Cedric and Lauren and Matthias and Ashley also. And any questions that you have, just email us. We will get back to you. And I hope you join us on this marvelous and very important journey, because our world today, more than anything, needs the ultimate currency, the currency of happiness, more than anything. Take good care, everyone. Bye-bye.